Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Molly. I'm a second year graduate here at Esri UK. So I've been here just over a year now, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how I took GIS from an interest to a job offer. So a little bit about my background. I grew up in a little village in Hertfordshire where I gained a little passion for the outdoors, usually taking my dog with me. And geography was something that I absolutely loved at school. It was pretty much always my favourite, but I was never certain that it would be where I'd end up. But I decided to take it through to A level and see where it went. So at A level, loved it even more, and I thought that that was the sign to take it at university. So I went to the University of Exeter to study BSc Geography with Applied GIS. And I added that GIS specialism to my degree because it was something I encountered really, really briefly at school, and I thought it was super cool. So I wanted to keep having a look into it. So that takes me to today here at Esri UK. I used GIS so much throughout my degree and really thought this is it for me. This is my passion. So I decided to apply for a job at Esri UK because one of the key things that was important to me was staying ahead of the technology. I didn't want a job where I was stuck in a legacy software version, never feeling innovative. So I thought, where better to go than the company that's making all this technology and doing all the innovation. So I thought I'd show you a little bit about where I encountered GIS growing up. I'm quite different to a lot of the other graduates at Esri UK that I knew what GIS was. I'd used it a lot and I loved it. I think that's important to note that Adam and I are both quite technical in our backgrounds, but you absolutely don't have to be. Some of the other graduates here have not touched GIS, have not opened ArcGIS until they get here. So don't let that put you off if you think it just sounds interesting. So the first place I'd say I ever saw GIS, and it's half and half whether this counts or not, is I have always thought satellite imagery was so cool. Before I knew what GIS was, I was zooming into mapping applications and staring at landscapes, trying to figure out what's going on there. I've put some highlights of my favourite places to stare at for you guys to enjoy as well. So then in secondary school, I came across GIS briefly during my A levels. I was writing my non-examined assessment looking at wind tunnelling and the urban heat island effect in London. And I found that I could plot that data on a map and with one map, one figure, explain what it was that I'd found without kind of having to write a whole paragraph. So I thought that was really cool. Down at university, I used GIS all the time. Um, I started to think about how it could be used to solve problems and how different different organizations might be using GIS. So a very different perspective to just literally putting dots on a map. Some highlights for me were using it as inset maps. I found if I was ever writing a report in my degree, I would shove in a little map that explained where it was I was talking about, just some visual context. Very simple way to add GIS in if you've not done it before. I then also had the chance to use interactive apps. So I did a GIS module where we built a dashboard of the University of Exeter's campuses. This one focused on accessibility, but the point was to introduce us to ArcGIS Online web applications and start learning those organizational uses of ArcGIS rather than just maps. I then used it for some field work on a field trip to Iceland. We made layouts using ArcGIS Pro to give us the context of where it was we were going, what we had to be worried about, and the kind of history of Iceland that was leading up to why we were there. And then I loved GIS so much, I decided to use it as a focus for my dissertation. I was studying Papua New Guinea. I used 3D models from 2000 and 2014 and compared them to see how sediment was moving through a mine. And this is where it really struck me that it's so cool because I have never been to Papua New Guinea. I probably won't ever go, but I do know exactly what's going on in this mining system without actually leaving Devon. One highlight as well was that as part of my degree, I got to attend the annual conference in London, and this was when it hit me that so many different speakers from so many industries were applying GIS to challenges that weren't even inherently geographical. And I definitely recommend our annual conference is free to attend and it will be in May next year. So if you're interested and you can get along, definitely do that. It's not just businesses that are able to attend, students are more than welcome and it is really interesting. So as I showed you, quite technical background, but don't let that discourage you. We're all very different. So I then started at Esri UK in September 2023. This is a bit about where it started. This is my cohort of graduates on our first day and the rotations we started in. As Adam said, there are currently 9 rotations, but you don't start in all of them because some of them need a bit more technical backing. So I started in our pre-sales department where I was delivering technical demonstrations of our software to different customers to show them how they can apply ArcGIS to solve challenges. It was a really great way to dive into our products and explore them in a way I hadn't considered at university. So, for example, this down here is a little map of solar power potential in Cambridge, which I derived using, I don't even remember, I think it was LiDAR or something. So, something I'd not looked at uni. And then a little bit about how it's going. This is us as of yesterday. I forced them all to take another photo. As you can see, there's some new rotations in here, like professional services and the localization team. These are things that you build up your tech over the year and then jump headfirst into them. So professional services, where I am, is our consultancy department. I'm working in the water sector to help customers directly implement GIS in their businesses. And one of the things I've been up to there is using deep learning models to detect manholes from satellite imagery. So all sorts of fun things going on. So I thought I'd show you some of my highlights of the graduate program. What have I been doing that's actually been the most fun? Because it's not all what you'd expect. I think the key one that you will expect though is I've been able to make maps. Everyone at Esri UK is definitely tied and bonded with a passion for maps. So getting the time and the technology to sit down and do some cool cartography has been really fun, and I like exploring different ways to visualize the world. I've also been able to create public content during the product communications rotation. You get to write technical blogs and create maps to inspire customers, and having things that I know I've contributed to up on a website is definitely really cool. I've also been able to give demonstrations both in pre-sales and our internal sales rotations. You get to show customers really cool bits of tech like this 3D mesh of, I'm not even going to pretend I know which stadium it is, but it's somewhere. And yeah, it's really nice when you get to see your demonstration go through to a sale, to know you contributed to the organization or the person wanting to implement our tech. Another highlight was, of course, our annual conference. I think this is a highlight for everyone. It's a very fun day, but I got to go again to this year's annual conference, and I was in my marketing rotation at the time, which meant that I got to get absolutely stuck in organising all sorts of things across the event. So it's a big full circle moment to me, to go from just a student interested in GIS attending last year to one of the organisers this year. But not just attending conferences. I think another amazing thing that I've got to do is present at them. Just last week, actually, Catherine and I, another one of the graduates, presented at a STEM Women conference in London, which was a massive thing for me because I absolutely hated presenting at university. It was something I got out of wherever I could. I didn't think I'd ever want to or be able to get up on a stage and present, but the graduate program has given me not only the opportunities to do that, but the kind of skills and the support to feel like I can do it, which is absolutely massive. And then finally, my last highlight is that I got to go up to the Scottish Highlands to volunteer with the Outward Bound Trust as part of my volunteering days. 3 of us went up to work with school kids to help them develop new life skills and teach them how to tackle challenges. And that was very rewarding, but also fun because I jumped into freezing cold locks and walked across gorges, all whilst technically being on the job. So yeah, the future, I can't say I know what it holds. I think the best thing about the graduate program is that you are guaranteed a role at the end and you're given all the resources to figure out what that's going to look like for you. I have no idea still. I have to decide in about 6 months, but it's the experiences you get across the business really help you figure it all out at the end. And again, like Adam, if you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me either on LinkedIn or by email. Always happy to chat about GIS. I can show you some cool satellite images. But yeah, I'll hand back now. Thank you very much.